Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 35 of Syncing with ServiceNow. I'm your host, Andy Whiteside. Got Mike Sabia and Eddie McDonald with us. But before I jump into that, I want to do the commercial. And the commercial is this. XenTegra is a rapidly growing ServiceNow partner, and we are because we're doing it the right way. And what I mean by that is we're adding real value to customers and real value to ServiceNow. And guys, I got to tell you, I've never been around a platform where there was so much opportunity to add value because no matter what a customer is currently doing, they're not getting all the value out of the platform. It's not possible. What do you think of that comment?
I think that's a testament just to the call Mike and I just got off of. There's so much value and so much of the platform is being underutilized. So Andy, you nailed it. I mean, there's so much to get out of there and there's so much productivity to be had.
Yeah.
Now, with the customer we were just speaking with, they do want to have a quick entry to solve their immediate needs, but I saw some excitement about the possibility of what the whole platform can offer, but we just need to focus on their immediate need first.
And hopefully most customers, which I don't know if this is true or not, but most customers are getting enough value out of the platform to justify the cost of the platform. That's possibly not true, but the reality is there's so much more value to be had to where the platform, ServiceNow in this case, ServiceNow specifically in this case, it becomes cheap. I mean, I've heard Eddie, not cheap, inexpensive. I've heard Eddie say to a client, like, if you're using the platform right, it's really not that expensive. If you're using it wrong or limiting your use of it, yeah, you're paying a lot of money, but that's not the platform's fault. That's your fault.
You know what? And this is interesting that you say that because I've had to have this conversations a lot of time with our sellers is that they make a comment about ServiceNow is expensive and it's not. You know, technology is cheap. People are expensive. And if a customer doesn't see the value, that's on us. That's where we failed. If we didn't show where the value is, then because it's there, it's always there. So it's our job to show where the value is, especially over the long term.
And I like how you're saying it's our job because the reality, the our in that comment is XenTegra, partner, ServiceNow vendor. But the reality is the partner has to do a whole lot more for that value to be shown through because ServiceNow is limited in the amount of time they can spend with the customer, unless you're the biggest of the big, limited the amount of time they can spend trying to make that come to reality. It's the partner. And I said this, I think Eddie, you were on the call to another guy yesterday who came from another partner that worked with ServiceNow. And he said, you're absolutely right. There's so much opportunity to raise the bar in terms of value the partner brings to the equation.
100%.
So Mike and Eddie, you guys brought a blog forward from, let's see, Sherry Khan from June 25th of 2024. So just a couple days ago, 6 ways to deliver great customer service with automation and intelligence. Yes, absolutely. And I want to talk about that. I often confuse intentionally the CS and customer service with customer success. Do you guys see the customer service motion in the ServiceNow world being applicable to a customer success motion, or does that fit somewhere else in the ServiceNow platform?
I would tie them in together for sure. The idea of not only servicing your customer, but make them excited, make them feel that they are being attended to properly, having a great experience, that they say, this is a great relationship with you. Absolutely relates to customer success.
Yeah, and I think it's also important. We're talking about CSM today, but you can also remember that your internal customers, these are your employees, these are your customers as well. So if CSM isn't important for you right now, it's not on your roadmap, ITSM, this is applicable to your internal customers as well.
Yeah.
Right. And specifically any of your non-IT use cases. We were on a call where people were talking about the finance group, and sometimes they get tickets that are wrongly routed to them, and it's really a finance group. We absolutely could support finance as a service within ServiceNow, and that would utilize CSM versus ITSM.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of want us, I know I've got a million things going on, but I kind of want us to develop some type of integration or app on top of the ServiceNow platform that's specifically for customer success teams within an organization that have to manage those customer relationships. Slightly different than account management, but similar. All right, let me read this first paragraph. In a complex market, delivering great customer service is critical to maintaining relevance and exceeding expectations. However, many organizations struggle to manage fragmented systems, front and back offices that don't talk to each other, and clunky workflows that tap into far too many systems and applications. It's a no-brainer for every organization that customer service, happy customers, is table stakes, if you will. but it's the hardest thing to do for most organizations because of what it points out here. And that is systems everywhere are being used to manage and execute on this. And something like ServiceNow, either bringing them all together or becoming it, has to be one of the answers. What do you guys think?
Well, I agree. And this is something we're addressing internally as well, again, for our internal customers. So, we use Salesforce for our opportunities, our CRM, and ServiceNow to run our projects. So because we have two systems, we're actually integrating those so that when an opportunity meets to a certain benchmark, it creates a demand. And then when the demand closes, then it spins up a project. So now we're having fewer platforms that now we can address not only our internal, but our external customers quicker. And it is so much cheaper to keep a customer than it is to go find a new one.
Right. Yeah, I watch a lot of Shark Tank and they always ask the question, customer acquisition cost. And it makes me think about my own customer acquisition cost. And it is massive, especially the way we do it. But if you can keep that customer, it becomes, irrelevant over time, how much you pay to get, it becomes cheaper, less expensive over time.
Yes, yes, yes. And also, I know that it's talking about customer service. I drive out of my way for good customer service. I just got my son's windows tinted on his car and I drove past two other facilities just because the guy that answered the phone was super nice, gave me the information I wanted, a one-stop shop. So yeah, customer service is a huge deal.
Yeah. And part of that is systems that can help you monitor and maintain and evaluate how your customer service is going. I got a local auto body shop here that I take my car to. I used to, and then service got pretty bad for a while. And then I went in the other day and it's been good the last couple of times. And I asked the guy what happened. He said, well, we started evaluating it, and they have some kind of software that helps them evaluate their staff at the front of the shop. And so talking about that and getting smarter about how you use those systems, well, that's the promise of what I call the great coach, AKA generative AI. Mike, this first section here talks about supercharge your customer service with generative AI. What are they trying to say?
Well, this follows the whole alignment ServiceNow has for using their own LLM to improve the customer service experience. And we saw in Knowledge 24 back in May that they're really pushing generative AI, and this is super powerful. It does come at a significant cost premium, and maybe not something that every customer needs to do right away. But if you can justify the generative AI applied to your customer support cases and reduce your customer call time, not only does it save on the amount of resources you need to have on staff to do it, but it also has a quicker and therefore better experience for your end user.
Any comments on that? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mike. Keep going.
No, I was going to say, I mean, it's this, in this article that focuses on chat summarization. So if you had like an online chat and it quickly summarizes it, both for perhaps another fulfiller picking up the ticket so they could quickly digest what's going on, or a quick summary to the end user saying, hey, you listened to me for 10 minutes and you summed it up very well. That's chat summarization or case summarization. When it closes, here's a quick summary, or post-call or knowledge article generation. All super capable. It can make your staff more efficient, have a better experience for your end user. But again, there is a significant cost associated with it, and you have to justify it.
Yeah, especially on the call summarization. So, in our business, I'm on calls all day, and half of these calls, more than half of these, are customer facing. And I've always got to keep, one eye on the call and the other eye on my OneNote where I'm taking my notes. And to be able to depend on using a third-party transcript, platform like Read AI, and then take that transcript and just summarize it, I would be able to fully engage in the call versus having to ping pong back and forth between talking and listening and taking notes, and being able to depend on a well executed post call summarization would be huge.
Yeah. And guys, I know this is part of it today and going to become more a part of it, the sentiment, right? Where you can tell where the call agent or even the person in the chat is behaving in such a way that's conducive to a happy end customer, or vice versa. If the other person's clearly angry and maybe we want to route them somewhere else into the queue that's going to help them be satisfied quicker, or maybe we realize this person opens a case every day and is always ugly, so we're going to do with them what we want to do with them. Like,
And then
maybe.
this last bullet, is, as they say, it's not nothing, knowledge article generation there. I mean, you
Yeah.
can, in an incident, you can create a knowledge article from the notes of that incident, but you still have to clean it up. You have
Yeah.
to format it in the right form. Then it's got to go to a knowledge manager to be able to do a Gen AI generated knowledge article that's automatically sent over to your knowledge librarian would be a huge, huge step forward and a great time saver.
Yeah, or
Yeah, I
all
mean,
they have to do is hit publish, if even that.
right. Versus, if I was to assign, hey, create a knowledge article on my boss, I mean, I would want to be very careful. It might take me an hour, but with generative AI, have a quick format, a quick sampling of what it could be, and then of course review. Super powerful.
Yeah.
If you can justify it. Yep.
So Mike, the next one here is number 2 here, unify the agent experience.
So they talk here a little bit about the new relationship between ServiceNow and Genesys, which is a generative AI company calling a little bit more on the voice call aspect of it. But the idea is that we want to unify the whole experience. If we want to have somebody start off with a voice prompt, we want to have that generative AI discussion initiated right away. And of course, then it talks about the middle and back office workers. The middle office is people who are working the ticket, maybe not customer focusing, or you have the back office workers who support the business of supporting the business, but maybe not specifically related to that ticket, whether it be legal or marketing and so forth. All those things are super important to having that unified experience. If I'm a marketing person and I wanted to see a ticket and I wanted to see, how many tickets are coming from what different types of customers, having everything on one platform provides one point of view to everything that's going on in your organization. If we want to have coming back to this customer satisfaction, if we want to have a full look at a customer, having everything in one place is tremendous.
Eddie, your thoughts?
Well, my apologies. I was focusing on the next section because the next section is my hot button about the self-fulfill and serve on one platform. But no, I think Mike touched on it perfectly.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 3, self-fulfill and serve on one platform. Eddie.
So while it's pretty universal that people will they'll concede that Salesforce is a better CRM. I've worked on both platforms, Salesforce and ServiceNow. From opportunity management, while I do agree that as a CRM, Salesforce holds the lead there. From opportunity management, ServiceNow is just so much simpler. The reporting is easier. The form layouts are better, the list views are better, and it ties in seamlessly for when your projects kick off. So an integration between ServiceNow and Salesforce, capturing our opportunities in ServiceNow. One day I'll have a one-on-one with my boss and try to convince him of that. But that's a joke because my boss is on the call. But anyway, that is where I'm at. I love the sell to fulfill all in one place, and ServiceNow does it really well.
Yeah.
And beyond just selling to customers, but like selling to a external customer, saying, hey, I want to buy this service or buy this widget or buy this hardware. The ability to request it in ServiceNow, to get it approved, to fulfill it based on existing stock in the stock room, or initiate a order with your purchasing system. Everything is in one place, and you get that full visibility rather than all those disparate systems and the inefficiencies that arise.
Yeah, Mike and I worked at a very, very, very large Fortune 500 company before this, and all of their catalogs were posted in ServiceNow. All the procurement happened. I mean, a lot of the sales folks didn't really have to communicate. The customer could do all the work themselves and get that order shipped to their front door. So yeah, it made it seamless.
That would be awesome. It really would. Number 4 here, simplify manufacturing operations. Mike, go ahead.
So similar to what I was just saying with the ordering of a person ordering a laptop and approval and seeing if there's stock and so forth, but the same thing can be applied to a manufacturing operations. Hey, we're a manufacturing company. We have to do all of these things. We need to make sure we have enough source material in order to support that. To have the orders, to, auto order things ahead of that stock running out, to have exceptions to some of those topics, to deal with your dealer operations. Hey, here's a case with my partner that I need to address. Here is a delay with an order. How would we deal with that? Some of the order to cash operations that Eddie was mentioning before. Having all those things in ServiceNow is super powerful. It's not just about supporting your external customer, your IT. It's also supporting your business, those middle and back office systems.
Yeah. And, manufacturing specifically, they have lots of different platforms. And, we talked about disparate platforms earlier on this call, but that's one of the selling points to ServiceNow is we're going to integrate, be the platform of truth. Let's work in one place and have the platforms that do their job well work in the back, and let all of our folks have a single place to go and get rid of that swivel chair.
Yeah. I mean, at a minimum, you could have disparate systems, but you got to have one holistic platform on the back that maybe and ideally can replace some of those, but if not, be the one that brings them all together.
Exactly. Yeah. The increased even little things like a bunch of different, if you have Slack and Teams and email, and it gets to a point where you have to remember who answers what message where. We can solve that in one fell swoop.
Right. All right. Number 5, automate.
Actually, I think that's one fell swoop, not fail swoop. So I didn't want to be corrected in the comments later on.
Number 5, automate access to field service talent. So, field service is a staple in the ServiceNow world. How does that apply here, Mike?
So I was talking with a customer that is a health organization, and, yes, you need to have a case for different types of issues that are health related. Maybe your internet-based bed is having an issue, or the tablet you put in your patient's room. But you also have a lot of different locations. You might have your main hospital, satellite hospitals. You might have medical devices at customers' houses. And to be able to schedule those deployments, schedule that maintenance, that's what field service management is. And it's tied intimately with customer service management. A customer calls up, there's a case, and that case might be able to be handled right away, or might require a technician to be deployed. And that's where that tie-in is to field service management, and having that full view of the customer experience.
Yeah. Yeah. You got this, statement, time is money. Time is money. But in the field, optimizing their time is certainly money and time well spent, or investments well spent. Eddie, your thoughts on field services?
Well, and I love that they called out the workers of all types: installers, technicians, home healthcare aides, and more. Some folks are more technically savvy than others, but the field service management application, whether on your phone or your tablet or wherever, it's like, I've arrived. You click a button, you could take notes right there on what the fix needs to be. And more importantly, even before the person even shows up, we know what's on, we can take inventory of their vehicles and their skill sets and send the right people to the right location to make sure that we're not making multiple trips. As you said, Andy, time is money. Let's keep the trips down. But if the person on the other end isn't technically savvy, field service is still very user-friendly.
Eddie, I'm gonna go to you for this one to start with, and then we'll come back to Mike. And that is this very often used term these days, AI, use of AI powered platform for transformation. Eddie, how does this in customer service, and how does it associate back to AI and transformation of that platform associated with customer service?
So it all boils down to, if you're not changing, you're dying. You've got to be able to look forward. This is, AI is going to be part of business very, very soon. So to transform how we address our customers is vital, because if you don't make it easy, they're going to go somewhere else. I gave you the example earlier about the window tinting. It's just, you have to lean into it. You have to have a plan. Most importantly, you have to have a plan. Too many times, Mike and I are on calls and it's like, talk to us about your 3-year digitalization plan. they're still working in spreadsheets. You know, spreadsheets came out in what, 1976. It's like, come on, you got to get a plan together and you have to execute because these customers are going to go where they are served best. So if you're listening to this and you do not have an AI platform to address your customers or even a digitalization plan, we can help you with that.
Yeah, somebody asked me the other day if how somebody within the company, not technical, asked me how ServiceNow played in digital transformation. I'm like, it is digital transformation.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, your thoughts on this topic?
I want to add, in addition to what Eddie said, there are other aspects of AI, generative AI, more than just case summarization or maybe feeding those answers to your end user who's requesting support with some topic, and utilizing those keywords in order to provide a good answer. There's also operations management. If you have, traditionally, an alert gets created when something breaks or something meets some threshold. But if you can have AI look at that and say, hey, maybe we're close to the threshold, but we're steady, versus we have another ticket which is ramping up quickly and is projected to exceed that in 2 weeks, which one is more important? The one that's lower than the threshold but is trending up. And with AI, you can start doing that customer operations where you identify issues before they happen in order to keep the customers rather than waiting for some fire drill.
Yeah,
Customer satisfaction right there.
It's your only hope of doing that in a scalable way where you're getting to the source of where the data lies, because humans just can't process it enough.
Yeah. It's proactive versus reactive. It just gives you the opportunity to get ahead of a problem.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we covered the 6 that they laid out. And here, are there, if you wrote this blog, is there another one you would have added?
No, I think they touched on pretty much everything. I mean, the takeaway is, yes, this conversation was based on customer service, but everything about this topic is about increasing productivity with additional visibility, saving time. If there's something a machine can do and let the person focus on the big picture, let the machines do the grunt work and let us do the important stuff.
That's what the machines, all the way back to many, many years ago, hundreds of years ago, that's what the machines were built to do. It's just now they do it more with software than hardware, and they do it almost as smart as we do, but they certainly can do it at a scale that we can't.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, anything else to add?
The article talked about, middle and back offices, but somebody who knows that customer service management is not just for external customers knows what that means to be able to support those non-IT use cases. But if I were to write it, I probably would have spent a little bit of time just emphasizing the fact that customer service management is not just for your external customers. It is for non-IT use cases. Your legal department, your marketing department, anybody who's working cases can have those cases worked in ServiceNow. And then all those 6 aspects apply to those.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, gentlemen, thanks for the time today talking about AI and customer success. Sorry, I did it myself. Customer service, go hand in hand. But I appreciate it, and we'll get back together in a couple of weeks and do it again.
All right. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Mike.